if you have any experience with home renovation, sanding, scraping, redoing furniture, light fixtures, spray painting, any of that, you may want to look away. This is not going to be pretty. I'm in my unwashed era, showered in 2 days. Today I got a little vanity table, one of the many attempts at me trying to fit something in this car that was never intended to fit. 10-foot long 2x4s down the center and giant insulation wrapping in the back seat. Sometimes you gotta just hang the dresser out the back, hope for the best, but today it fit. It fit pretty well, actually. Nestled right in there. The bottom's like peeling. I don't know what that's about. Kind of beat up, but it was only $15, a couple minutes from my house, so I thought, what the heck, why not get it? Put it in the future house. Agenda for today, I'm hopefully going to sand and spray paint a old light fixture that's going to be in our kitchen. It's like a black tin chandelier. It's really cute, but I finally cleaned it off the other day and it was more beat up than I realized, so I think I'm gonna have to like slightly buff it and then Rust-Oleum spray it. I've never done that before. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do, so I'm gonna hope for the best and try that. I'm also hoping to use the heat gun I bought like the other week to get some of the old paint off of the newel post I bought. It's really pretty, but it's got like 3 to 5 layers of really old creepy paint. Probably got lead in it or something. Maybe I'll do that today. Or, more likely, I won't do any of this. Come along, let's see how little I actually get done today. For unknown reasons, I ended up going to Ye Old Tractor Supply. Never actually been there. Growing up in rural Minnesota, one of the things we do for fun is go to the local feed store, and I'd occasionally get a little horse. You go talk to the chicks, and this place just took me right back there. They're kind of like behind a fence thing now, can't really hold them anymore. I did what I usually do and wandered around aimlessly for about 15 minutes, not knowing where anything was, what I was looking for, generally looking confused, but found something that I thought would work, some kind of a spray on anything, so what could go wrong? Immediately when I got home, this little spider on the car who wouldn't move. He was watching everything I was doing. But he kept following me around the car, so then when I came to try to unload the furniture, he came over there and was checking things out. So had to give the old spider tap to try to startle him away so he wouldn't get caught in the door or go in the car or anything like that. You can see the exact moment when I realized this was not going to be an easy feat. Winded from trying to wrestle that thing out. That took way longer than I was expecting. Wanted to at least catch outside the car the triumph that is this desk. $15, just a little bit up, but I don't mind that. It's got these really cute drawers with like this little inlay detail. It looks old. I think that's like the dovetail thing. I don't know. I don't know enough about furniture. I just like it when it's old. And then the underneath side that I thought was like vinyl that was chipping, it's paper. I don't know what it is, but there's like old paper stuck to the bottom of it. So I'm gonna try to take a look at that, see if it's something cool or old. I'll probably just leave this as is, honestly. I think it's gonna be cute in like an entryway or something, or I do have mirrors that I can mount behind it if I wanted to use it as a vanity table. Otherwise, I don't know, I think it's a cute little entryway piece. The top's a little scuffed up, so I could always sand it if I wanted to, but I've never been brave enough to attempt that. This might even be like veneer or something, but I just thought I would showcase the little guy. She's really cute. Worth the effort, I think. And now, for a short break in between me talking, please enjoy this lovely cemetery footage. Does this look really stupid? So close to my neck, face. Maybe it's more professional of not holding it. I gotta hold something. It's so much more nerve-wracking filming on your back steps. Potential in-laws could walk out, neighbors are around. Welcome to not my house. This is where I've been living for the last 2-3 years now. Up in the attic, way up at the top. It's been good. It's been nice, but ready to have our own space. Hence the projects and things. This was one of the things I was hoping to tackle today. As I mentioned, I got a heat gun and was ready to start scraping this thing because it's cute as heck. It's got a lot of great detail here and here along the side, but it's got so many layers of paint. The top one's like this blue one that's like chipping. It's kind of weird. And then obviously this will go on top, sort of like so. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it is a full 2 hours later than the last time I was here. Husband and father-in-law pulled up from working on our house and just had to do a quick tactical takedown of the setup. So ended up talking with a friend for 2 hours. So here we are. Also, I have not shaved my legs in a minute. Can you tell? Hopefully the quality is not that good that you can actually see that. Also, I think we're about to like eat dinner as a family with the in-laws, and I think they're like right inside the kitchen, so it's really hard to talk in normal volume when I'm like, people could be watching or hearing things. It's a good test of your pride or ego of, if you know people are watching you film, can you film? It's tough, hence the rapid hand movements and all that. Anyway, this was a project piece I was gonna work on today. Had the heat gun ready, reading the instructions, you know, as one does. I started looking up some YouTube videos of, hey, how should I do this? And then ended up realizing that, oh, the paint's probably lead paint. So trying to research that, apparently lead vaporizes at a certain temperature, so heat guns are not usually recommended to take them off unless you're able to keep under, I think it's like 1100 degrees Fahrenheit as of the 2025 government document I was reading about how to safely remove lead. So we're gonna have to wait until I get a mask, I guess. I know it's outside and it's probably fine, but I don't think it's worth risking. So we're gonna wait. We're gonna come back a couple days, see if I can do that. Looking forward to scraping this off, see if that works. Hopefully the heat gun is a good solution, and not getting lead poisoning is another good option as well. We're gonna do that. Instead, I pivoted to the light fixture. Ended up hanging it just from a single nail in the basement. Thought I could spray paint it safely down there without getting all the pollen in it. Ended up hanging up a drop cloth. And if you remember the analogy I gave in the last video of being a confused squirrel holding a hammer, that is never more visible than this exact moment. What am I doing holding the hammer like that, tapping it 1,700 times? But hey, we got it up, we got it done. Nice safe little tent to spray paint it in. Welcome to the attic. This is officially where we've been living for the last 3 years, I think. So just husband's over there doing husband things, so gotta find creative filming locations, i.e. right next to the stairs and whatever this thing is. So I'm hoping the camera's not high quality enough that you can notice the amount of dust that's down here and cat hair. It's horrifying. Don't look at that. Basically started out, father-in-law told me just rough it up a little bit. Make sure the stain will hold. I don't know what that means, so I went to town, as you can see clearly, and I basically killed it. I scruffed it so hard that it came back to haunt me later, so light scuff does not equal scratch to heck, just for future reference. And then, of course, the painting. This was even worse than the scraping portion. I knew that you should do short spurts, short passes with the spray paint, and then stop, but my brain kind of got hyper-focused on watching it hit the thing and went, well, I need to cover it so I can see the paint actually covering the marks, and just ended up holding it down, as you can see. Not a good call. You can tell later on the air itself was starting to get paint filled. I was wearing a mask, but I didn't put it on correctly, so there was little gaps like here where apparently I was breathing it in. I went upstairs. I wish I would have got a picture. I had black underneath my nose. It was really bad. I may be slightly nearer death based on that night of spray painting a light fixture in the basement, but what can you do? You know, you only live once. YOLO. All that to say, I ended up having to redo every single thing I did that day, but it all worked out in the end, I guess. Decided to clean out our scary basement. Found this in one of the old beams. Does this look familiar to anyone else, or is it just me? See wood. You feel it? And here's all the crap that I wouldn't throw out, so just reorganize a little bit. I think it looks better. Later that night, came back to the house and decided to just redo it all.
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going.
You having fun?
Oh. You can kind of see the difference there of the scraped up sheen below where I'd ruined it before, and the nice smooth on top. So something was at least accomplished. I had to sand the whole thing down with a very light grain to get it completely smooth so I could then re-spray paint it. I did that night, but I was too tired to record it, so you did not get to see the more satisfying, actually correct way of doing it, but it worked out. Next time I went to the house, I spent way too long trying to dig up these old landscaping dividers that had sunk way into the soil. Doing so seemed to have angered some local residents. Sorry about that, fellas. You, just keep doing what you're doing. Carry on. At some point, the wind knocked over my phone, and we get this lovely transition here to the grass. I continued recording for about 30 minutes before I actually realized what happened, but it all worked out. There they all are, all dug out safely. And I decided to put every single one of them back in. The negative was the hole I had recently filled in. I had to slightly redig, but I filled it in very poorly, so it wasn't hard to do. And it actually gave it a little more height that I think it needed. I was able to replace any broken ones. Just ignore that it's not at all in a straight line. The next thing I want to tackle was getting the door hardware off. I thought it would be pretty easy to just go in there, take the door out, but it was not. Here's me trying to get the door out for way too long. And then the exact moment I realized that this was not going to work. I ended up reorganizing, looked a lot better in the end, and then I was able to safely remove the hardware. They had tons of old, creepy paint layered over them, so it took a little bit to get the hang of getting them off, but once they came out, it was pretty easy. Once you get all 3 nails out, you can kind of just undo the one on the doorknob and then slide the whole box out, and then the knob comes out as well. And there you have it. I always love these glass doorknobs, kind of tiger's eye marble, very pretty. And now, an unfortunate retelling of the casualty that was the Harrington bees. Basically what happened was we had a colony of bees living in this soffit of our house. I thought it was just in the soffit. I thought they were potentially bumblebees or honeybees. They're endangered or something anyway. So I thought it was worth doing. Let's look into it. I called around, found someone in the area who was willing to relocate them or maybe move the nest or something. So he came out and basically said, no one's gonna want these. They are carpenter bees. They're drilling little holes in the side of their house. But I'm stubborn, and I said, well, it's not their fault. They're just bees. They don't know any better. So I ended up looking online and found the only real trustworthy source of information on the internet, Reddit, and found someone that taped a paper bag to the side of their house in an attempt to lure the bees away, thinking it was a hornet's nest. So it found a bag of trash left by one of our neighbors, wadded it up to look hornet's nest-esque, and taped it to the side of the house.
Excuse me. Hey, that cord isn't for you. Thank you.
Thank you. But apparently bees can read, so they suggested you flip the logo inside out, so redid it, flipped the logo inside out, and taped it to the side of the house. First I did it to this wire, and it kind of like slid down the longer I was there, so that didn't really work. But I was hopeful, because I saw a couple bumbles come and, kind of check it out. I thought, hey, maybe this could work. It sounds crazy, but hey, if it saves the bumbles. Father-in-law came back a couple days later. There were no bees. I was thrilled they would maybe be able to go on and live their little bee lives elsewhere, but 'twas not to be. A day or two later, they were back at it, drilling more holes on the side of our house, so unfortunately the bees are no longer with us, so join me in a moment of silence for our fallen bee brethren.
In the arms of a bumble.
Talked to my grandma about this, and she thought it was really funny that I taped a paper bag to the side of our house, left it there for several days. I ended up saying that I'd bought a kazoo, and she thought that might be a good method to frighten off the bees, so her and I were laughing for a good amount of time that if I maybe climbed a ladder, something with a cigar, the smoke would frighten the bees off with kazoo sounds, and something about putting an owl up there. It it was a good time, so shout out Grandma for the wisdom as always. To recap, did I accomplish any of the things that I set out to do? One, if you count ruining a light fixture, kind of fixing it, and then not getting a satisfying reveal, then yes, one thing was accomplished. Newel post, nothing happened there. Any of the other projects, I just don't think anything happened there either. But I ruined a light fixture, fixed the light fixture, got an unsatisfying reveal for said light fixture, got the hardware off of one door, learned how to disassemble it, dug out some old landscaping stones, filled in the hole, then redug the hole and put them back in. So maybe those two cancel each other out. We'll just say I got 5 things. And then last but not least, tried to rescue the bees. So all in all, pretty productive time. And so when I cleaned out the basement too, so add that as a side point. So all in all, I didn't accomplish that much, but we did something. And if one bee was able to escape from my efforts, then I think it was worth doing. Come meet the people. This is Mama. Come here. Come say hi. What are you doing? You want to say hello? Anything to add? Thank you. Nice rub. Very nice. Thank you. You want to be included? Hi. Hello. Hi. Is this necessary? No. You're just chewing on my hand now. You're not sorry. You'll do it again.